Hello Internet, I'm LT and welcome to another episode of Lost in Translation. I'm an avid gamer. I don't have one medium or genre of game I prefer, console or computer, platform, beat 'em up, shooters, sports. Whatever catches my interest, I like to play. On the other hand, I know a lot of you guys out there in Internet land have your particular types of games you want to play and characters to choose from. Sonic, Mario, Link, Kratos, Tracer. But have you thought about the other characters in the game? Think about the NPCs you get your quests from, or the endless hordes of enemies you mow down with your +2 awesome weapon of overpoweredness. What about them? What are their backstories? Do they have loved ones? Do they have lives outside of the game? Have you ever stopped to think about them at all? Yeah, me neither. But Reboot's here to tell you about their stories anyway. Premiering in 1994, Reboot was the first ever half-hour-long cartoon to air on television that was completely CGI. The series follows Bob, a guardian whose job it is to defend his home system, Mainframe, against computer viruses named Megabyte and Hexadecimal, as well as players of video games that invade their system. In this world, if a video game is started and the player, or user as the show calls it, wins the game, then the section of the system the game touched down on is destroyed, and its citizens, sprites like Bob, or binomes as seen here, are turned into little worm-like creatures called nulls. To make sure the user doesn't win, the system's citizens, led by the Guardians, tap their identification icons to reboot themselves into the game's enemy characters, hence the name. It's a tall order, but fortunately Bob's not alone. To help him are his friends Dot Matrix.
Here I am. I'm sorry. I had to make a pit stop. I'm so excited. I couldn't hold my oil.
No, I'm saving that Dot Matrix for next time. Yeah, there we go. Dot Matrix, along with her little brother Enzo, his dog Frisket, and the leader of Mainframe, the system's command.com, Fong. This was a series that had a hard time getting off the ground. Reboot was actually created back in 1980 by John Grace, Ian Pearson, Phil Mitchell, and Gavin Blair, known collectively as the Hub. Unfortunately, they couldn't get the show done the way they wanted to because technology at the time wouldn't allow for it. They would have to wait for 10 years before they could even begin to see their vision come to life. But in 1990, the show moved to Vancouver, Canada, where the show would finally begin production under Mainframe Entertainment. Now, I would like to take this opportunity as a Transformers fan to give this group a hearty thank you for making Reboot. Not only is it great in its own right...
Yes. It's rather good, isn't it?
Absolutely. But chances are, without this show, we wouldn't have one of the best entries in the Transformers franchise either. Beast Wars! Everything Mainframe learned from its ambitious endeavors with Reboot was used to make Beast Wars the masterpiece it is. Many of the iconic actors like Gary Chalk, David Kaye, Scott McNeil, and Venus Terezo even came from Reboot. Maybe Beast Wars would have existed in some form, but who knows if it would be anywhere near as great as what we got. I'll save the talk about Beast Wars when I actually get to the Transformers franchise. I only brought it up because you cannot underestimate the effect that Reboot had on this form of medium. I mean, sure, you want to look back on it now, the CGI is pretty dated. The character movements are pretty stiff, and the models themselves look...
And what am I supposed to be?
Not that bad, actually. Damn. What was I saying? Well, since I lost my train of thought, I guess now would be a good segue to talk about another issue they had to deal with at the time. Censorship. Yeah, you might not believe it since the show is pretty standard Saturday morning cartoon fare, but Reboot was initially plagued with censorship issues. When it premiered in 1994, it was on the ABC network. Now, full disclosure, I'm not 100% anti-censorship. There is some material I think is not appropriate for television. But what these guys had to go through was just ridiculous. For example, Dot Matrix again. This is how she appeared at the beginning of the series. Looks fairly modest, right? But ABC thought she was too sexy for a kids show because of the size of her chest. What is this madness you speak of? Women with boobs? Huh! That's the reason why Dot had what the creators called a mono-boob during the first few seasons. But it gets even crazier. There was supposed to be a scene where Dot gave her brother a kiss on the cheek. That was prohibited from being aired because they were scared it would promote incest. Even the most sex-negative prude at the time would listen to that and wonder what the hell. I mean, who at ABC had a 10-foot pole shoved so far up their rectum they thought these absurd standards was a good idea?
It's a dirty job, but someone's gotta do it.
Really? Okay. So what you're saying is, at the time, you thought your audience would become sexual deviants if they ever saw a woman with a sizable chest, even if that chest was fully covered?
There's gonna be children in the audience.
And half of those children are going to grow up to have those terrible boobs you're so afraid of. And what about Dot kissing Enzo? Everyday people do that all the time. There's nothing even remotely incestuous about that.
I'm afraid I can't approve of this one.
Come on. Even now you're not going to bend on those stupid decisions?
No.
But... yeah, that's pretty much what they had to deal with. For all the good it did them, 2 years after premiering on ABC, even following those rules, they were canceled. But after that, they moved to cable, which standards and practices weren't as stringent, which allowed for...
oh, yeah.
It's kind of sad, though. Thinking about it, a series like Reboot, with the newer designs for their female characters, couldn't be made today either. In the past, you could blame evangelicals for their moral panic, but these days, the censor would have this badge. Well, that takes care of the TV show. I'm not going to spoil anything more for you in case you want to watch it yourself. If you'd like to own the series, there is a box set that's available courtesy of Shout Factory on Amazon. Now, for this particular show, the pressing question is, how does Reboot fare when it's translated to other media? What other media has Reboot even been translated into? Well, officially, only one thing so far. Reboot the video game.
Published in 1998 for the original PlayStation, the Reboot video game has players control Bob. Ironic, since in his show his job is to beat the players. Anyway, in the game you follow him as he repairs tears around Mainframe. Tears in this world are points of system instability that can cause damage to their surroundings. Guardians like Bob can either mend a tear so that they go away, or stabilize them into a portal that can grant them access to other systems or the internet. Megabyte wants to use the tears to get into the principal office where the Command.com runs Mainframe, so he can take over.
Now normally this would be the part where I would compare and contrast the video game with the TV show, but that wouldn't work in this case. Mainframe made the video game alongside Electronic Arts, and since the show maker is the same as the game maker, there's nothing to compare. Everything I said about the TV show would apply to the video game also. Well, if you do like the show, then I'd say give the video game a play. Even if it's just for the sake of nostalgia, I'd say it would be well worth your time. That takes us to the end of another episode. If you like it, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below. Hit that notification bell so you know when another episode is uploaded. And if you have the means, consider supporting us on Patreon. Even $1 would really help. I'm sorry, I really should have turned this thing off before I started filming. Let's see, what's this about now? Before you end the episode, make sure to read this news site. It seems my research staff has found me something. Check it out. There's a trailer for a new Reboot series? I didn't even know that was a thing. I gotta check this out.
It's time to send humanity back to the Dark Ages.
Alan Turing High. Only the most tech progressive.
Wow, even they've improved the technology so much in the last few months that they were able to blow through the uncanny valley, or these aren't CGI characters.
I'm Zero.
Oh boy.
I'm Austin. This is Parker. Trey.
I'm Tamara.
Whoa. Look at all this tech. Quit touching stuff. I knew this school was gonna be cool, but this is incredible.
Guardians, your mission has commenced.
Wait, who are you?
They call me Vera.
I'm the...
Okay, that's enough. Oh, this is bad.
Is it very bad?
Well, to be fair, I really can't say. I mean, it is just a trailer after all. How good or bad a trailer is has no bearing on how good or bad the actual finished product is. And as a Transformers fan,
I am directly below the enemy scrotum.
That's a lesson I learned the hard way. It likely will be bad, but maybe it'll surprise us. I mean, yeah, it's nothing like the Reboot we grew up with, but we really should give it a fair shot before we make any snap judgments. Although with what I have seen, I do kind of expect this new show to start with
Alpha, Megabytes Escape. Recruit a team of teenagers with attitude.
Well, we'll see what happens with this new show soon enough. Until then, and until the next time we get lost, have a good one.